Hey, in today's video, we are going to be talking about CD Projekt Red's recent announcement over the expansion update. Not only this, we are going to be talking about Paweł Sasko's recent discussion about new cyberware and clothing coming to Cyberpunk 2077. And last but not least, we are going to finish the video up with more CD Projekt Red announcements. If this is your first time visiting the channel, then feel free to subscribe, turn on those notifications for all, and if you have any questions, leave them at the end of the video and I will try to answer them. We are first going to talk about Mr. Sasko's recent discussion about cyberware and clothing. Now, within his stream, there was a player in the chat that asked if there was any plans for CD Projekt Red to give us more options cyberware visually, like Takamura, and to add more clothing to the game. Mr. Sasko replied with, quote, "First of all, we absolutely know about that because, like, you guys have been very vocal about this topic. It actually makes us happy when we see all those banging mods with the clothing, when you guys just make the clothing you want to wear. I love that. I love seeing this. That is why we are supporting modders." Mr. Paweł Sasko then goes on to talk about the lead artist, how good of a guy he is, and basically this right here, quote, "He and his team are really like doing whatever they can, to deliver you guys banging content," end quote. There is some exciting news about this because this means that we might have a chance at receiving the hologram dresses or some of the other hologram outfits. This would be unique for Cyberpunk itself because, yeah, we have not been able to use those items. Only those dang NPCs have it, or if you're on PC, of course, you can download a good old mod, and there you go. And for the cyberware appearance, that's going to be really cool if you are totally into this stuff. Now for me, I really want to see more cyberware for combat. If you take a look at Chromebook Volume 1 by Tessellarian Games, they have some good information on some cyberware that you probably have yet to see. For example, did you guys know that there was a whip? This is not like the wire at all. This would grapple, this would whip at enemies, and it's pretty cool. What you're looking at right now is the flashbulb. This would then be installed in the palm, and you would then be able to blind enemies in range. I thought that was something unique, and why is it not there? As for this next one, this is some medieval crap right here. The mace hand. Literally, your hand is turned into a mace. It kind of makes me think of one of the Nox weapons on Elden Ring. This next one is Skatefoot, which is a motorized foot module that's installed on your cyber limbs only. And what's unique about this is that, well, you do have to have the body strength for it, so you better eat some good old spinach. This next one's pretty unique to me, and it makes me think of Fallout Watchman. This is basically just a TV installed on your right arm. Holy crap. And there is also these cyber fingers, which would allow you to shoot off one of your fingers and it would explode. There's also a lighter, a bunch of cool stuff like that. There's a lot more to go over, so if you want me to talk more about this stuff, the Cyberpunk Red lore and all that, let me know and I'll definitely do that. There's a lot of good information that you can find on these books, such as like these certain vehicles that you probably will see in the future of Cyberpunk, or you may never see it. Hopefully we can see some of these items in the future, except for the Watchman. I only included that because I thought it was hilarious. Now, why is it not included in the game, right? Why do we not see anybody out there rocking this right now? Is it because, nobody cares about TV? I'm going to give that a negative. This is Cyberpunk 2077. We're in the future. Someone out there has got to be super lazy, sitting there with a Watchman on the right side of their arm, just eating a bag of, I don't know, chips or a bucket slice or something, being a choom, all that good stuff. So, speaking of Cyberpunk, right? Did you guys know that Witcher 3 now has some new DLC coming out, specifically a next-gen update? It's going to be free for everyone that already owns the game from what it states right there. What's interesting the most is that a lot of you may be wondering, is Phantom Liberty going to be, the next free DLC? Is it going to be the next free expansion? And, well, it's quite easy to answer that one, and it's a no. If you guys did not know, recently over at GamesRadar.com, they did an interview with PR Global Radek Grabowski. There was some talk about the DLC, and Mr. Grabowski had this to say, I quote, "As for the expansion's pricing, we have not revealed exact details yet, but it will be a paid one. Surprisingly, there has been quite a few players who thought it was going to be a free expansion, yet unfortunately this is not the case. There has been some pretty nasty comments coming from Reddit as well as different places talking about how the game was broken in the beginning, so how can they charge for this expansion? I'm honestly shocked that there's quite a few players saying that. I mean, a company's got to make money, right? And if they're going to provide such a big update that's going to provide us with new content, and of course, they're hiring, Keanu Reeves to do some voice acting, of course, this is going to cost some money. And I'm sure it costs a lot of money to hire that man to do any type of voice acting. The money, it's probably breathtaking. Now, this is what comes to my mind. Speaking of cashola, does this mean that the expansion might be a little bit spendy? Will it be 30 bucks? Or possibly will it be less? I would like to know what you guys think personally, because I honestly do not know. Let's now move on and talk about some interesting information. There was a question asked in Mr. Sasko's stream about how they captured the California atmosphere within Cyberpunk. He responded with, quote, "Well, I mean, we spent a lot of time just watching, experiencing, I would say, the reference material, checking the movies, checking the photographs, checking the architecture." He then continued to talk about the CD Projekt Red employees taking a trip to California, probably to experience that reference material, which I'm sure you can acquire quite a lot just by going out there in public, and I'm sure they did. And so the whole point of that was for them to create Cyberpunk, which I honestly did not know that it was primarily based on that. I would have guessed Florida. Maybe I'm wrong for thinking that. I don't know. It's kind of the same atmosphere, right? It's pretty hot, cooked up. I don't know. You guys probably are going to be like, dude, what the heck? So anyways, that is what's interesting about that. But then, did you guys know that there was a huge discussion about manholes? Yeah. So Mr. Sasko brought up an old Reddit post that was about manholes. Now, what is the issue about this? Well, let me explain it to you. There apparently was a manhole that resembled Europe, primarily Germany's. Get this, realistically, I guess what this Reddit user was explaining is that the whole problem is that the manhole back in Europe, that one is designed for a certain amount of weight. Now, the one that's in the game, that's, right there in the middle of the streets, that would be terrible for that to be there, right? Because it's not designed for the car weight and so on, right? That's the issue behind it, which is so wild to think that that would be brought up within the game. But yeah, it's apparently a thing. And there you go. I have nothing else to share with you guys. I hope that this information was informative for you. I personally am excited for the Cyberware and the appearance, although again, I would love to see something for combat. Tell me what you guys are most excited for, except for, of course, the good old DLC and everything that's jammed into it. And what price do you think it's going to be? I know I already asked that, but I want to make sure that I ask it again just for those that skipped over it. And just let's talk about it. And I want to give you guys a huge shout out that are subscribed and currently a member. I appreciate the love and support, and I will see you all on the next video.